The exhibition Like Clockwork is on view through September 28th at AOT Project Salon in Brooklyn. Now, the artists explore the very controversial topic of police brutality. And here now to tell us more about the exhibit is AOT Project Salon director and curator Douglas Turner. We welcome you to the show. Good to have you.
Thank you very much for having me, Darren.
Hey, good to have you. Listen, all is well.
Yes.
Talk to us. So you have this Project Salon.
Yes.
And when we talk about Project Salon, one of the things that we're talking about is exploring the issue of police brutality, as we talked about in the front. A very sensitive issue during this time.
Right.
And I want you to share with our viewers a little bit about what people will see and also your participation.
Okay, so essentially, first I'd like to say that the two artists in the exhibition, Corinne Innis and Xavier Basabe, are Bronx residents.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Bronx.
Shout out to the Bronx. So they, Corinne's is the primary artist of the show. They're also a husband and wife. And Corinne's work is, you know, the reason for the title of the show. She wanted to be able to express what many of us are feeling about what seems to be a rise in police brutality, which is true, it is, but it's also something that is, I like to say that people are seeing it on the rise in social media. They see it as an epidemic. I believe it is a pandemic. It's something that particular parts of our communities have been experiencing for quite some time. However, due to the rise of, you know, technology, we can now all be our own journalists on the spot. And so it's those images that have influenced Corinne's latest body of work, which is a traditional folk art in the, you know, in the street graffiti sense, as well as a little bit of, you know, Basquiat influence there. And she's also of West Indian heritage. So she's used a lot of images such as jumbies and ghosts to help tell the story. The title, Like Clockwork, comes from her use of Alex from the Kubrick film Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm. And give me a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Yes. So that is the, that's an Alex there in blue. These are small etchings, and this is more one of the, this here is an exhibition view of her large pieces. Mm-hmm. And you see the horse is a symbol of power, and also you see the blue there, that one is the Clockwork title piece. And that is Alex there, and he has the badge. If there's the badge, Corinne's written in the badge, "I'll light you up," which is just an acknowledgement of Sandra Bland, to say her name in her work. Here is a piece. This is this piece discusses the origins of rape, and also things like the law enforcement's authoritarian powers, and also the trauma of the victims. There you see the origin of rape, and that whole power dynamic is unfortunately reflected in many of these instances where a police officer goes beyond where they should in their ability to try and control a situation.
And so as a person comes through, takes a walk through, and if I'm just a general casual person that walks through this exhibit, what should my takeaway be?
Well, very important for this exhibition is that, you know, this is art coming from a black perspective, but the world over has learned from art that comes from many different perspectives. And so people should feel welcome to come to this exhibition and enter it where they find their relationship to the work. This is a subject matter that concerns us all. And it just so happens to be a black perspective. And so they should look for their entry point. I mean, we're all hearing about it in the media now. Corinne's work is filled with texts, so there's words and imagery, objects that people can relate to. She's created a body of work. You know, art tells a story, oftentimes much quicker than, say, a long essay could. Just the visual power. It is a very it's a very forward perspective. It is not trying to gently censor itself around this, because just the violence and the brutality that we've seen is very graphic. And so it attempts to match that, to discuss these things such as power and control, and the deviant behavior that it is, the culture of violence that is unfortunately pervading our law enforcement.
Is it important that after watching something like this, what is it? Conversation needs to be had. Reflection needs to. What's the post watching? Yes.
So this is meant to instill in people the desire to have a dialogue. Art, like I said, is, you know, it's very visual, obviously, and it gives the person, rather than telling them exactly what's going on, and it allows them to engage themselves, to do that kind of reflection, and then bring it out and share it. Because this is a dialogue that we need to have. You know, I'm in Brooklyn, the artists are in the Bronx, and I think that's beautiful because it's kind of the definition of unity, and there needs to be a singular kind of voice rising up about how we as citizens of this country don't want that kind of relationship with law enforcement. We want a healthier relationship with law enforcement. And so there are a lot of issues that have never been discussed in this country as to why so many black, brown, and tan-skinned people are always the victims of police brutality.
So for people who want to watch, I should say watch, come visit and take a look, what should they do? When, where?
Well, this Sunday, which is September 27th, from 1 to 6 p.m., we're actually having a gallery talk where artists will be there, myself the curator, and we encourage people to come and to ask questions. And also the artists would love to ask questions. It's a dialogue. And that our location, AOT Project Salon, is at 159 Hope Street in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. L to the 4, 4 to the L. It was a breeze to get here.
That's right. Well, we're glad that you were able to come and share with us, and hopefully, as we said, this project will definitely spark, illuminate conversation and really some reflection on the part of people who come by and take a look. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Listen, we're going to take a break and come back with more Open right after this. We're going to tell you about a program that's designed to teach high school students basic journalism skills.